Welcome guys in our pen testing series. Today we are going to discuss pen testing process and phase with the ethics. So here you can see how pen testing works. So till now what we discussed, different types of pen testing. There are different strategies and methods. So this is our final concept where I want to explain the entire process, how the pen testing process works. There are different phases for that process, phase 1, phase 2, like that. And this phase is not like ethical hacking, information gathering, scanning like that. Okay, it is a pen testing phase. Then I will discuss that when should pen testing to be performed. Sometimes what happens, students have a proper knowledge and skills. They have ethical hacking knowledge, they have pen testing knowledge, but still they have getting doubt or confused. That from which point actually I start the pen testing. Which kind of scenario it is a case study for pen testing, not for ethical hacking, not for cyber security, but pen testing. So that will discuss. And also, we'll discuss some ethics that what things need to follow by the pen tester. So let's discuss in the detail. So in the process, we have 3 points. In the pen testing process, first defining the scope, then performing the pen testing, and then reporting and delivering. Okay. So it's like what? First, you need to decide your criteria. What things you are going to scan, pen test, what things you require, or what things you will not allow, like that. After deciding some criteria, you will perform your task. Practically, pen testing started. And then when you end that, the third is what? Third process is reporting and delivering all the result or tools, whatever you are using and whatever the vulnerability you will find. So this point, let's discuss in the detail. So what is first point? It's like defining the scope in that. First, you can see extent of testing. Second, what will be tested. Third, where testing will be performed. And who will perform the test. Now understand the simple way that I want to start my pen testing journey with any company or let's say as a freelancer, and I am getting one order. Okay, for what? Pen testing. Let's say some company is inviting me that you come here and checking our scenario, or let's say with some reference, or let's say I get the job offer anywhere. Our first page is what? We need to discuss, okay, what network you want to scan, how many member in that network, is there any server or printer, any other device, or all are computer, or any other wireless device, laptop, like that. How many time I have, 1 month, 20 days, 1 week, it is a small test or high level test, what kind of things I allow to pen testing, what thing is restricted for me, like that. Okay, then you also need to ask that can I perform that pen testing by inside this office or from the remote access or from the cloud. Your server is physical here or in the cloud. Okay, and I am the only one who are testing this, or there are some team who are also hiring other pen tester, or I can come with my team. That all kind of things, what it is part of defining the scope. With this first point, you are deciding your criteria, what kind of testing you are going to do. And then next step is what? Perform the pension testing. So practical task starting here. So here you require proper plan, methodologies. Okay, if you remember our previous session, so on that we discussed that pen testing strategies and method. So that you can put here for the planning. Checking the system for an existing or new application or network or system. Understand that that computer is running since multiple years or it is just before 1 year. There are some new install application within few weeks or today or within few days, or there are all application which is old, which is provided by the company. There are any personal data. Is there any other network also in the list? Then what? Gathering all the information significance such as a network configuration, topology, hardware and software. So these all things we require to perform a proper penetration testing task. Then you can see third point. reporting and delivering results. That means what? Let's say you decided your criteria, you start the pen testing task, and practically successfully you finish your pen testing. Now it's time to submitting the report, and whatever the vulnerability or bug you will find, that you need to deliver. If you take any company device, you can deliver that. So it is like finishing stage. Okay. So this is the last process in the pen testing. So here what you need to do, list of prioritized vulnerabilities and the risk. You need to provide priority wise. What is the high level risk? What is the medium level bug? Or what is the low level or we can ignore? Strong and weak point of that existing security system. Let's say there are no vulnerability, but still you are aware that maybe this kind of model or this kind of hardware version or OS version are chances of some vulnerability in the future. Or let's say there are some bug already running in the market right now, you're not find in this environment. So you can tell him what are the strong point, why this OS is secure, and what are the weak point, what things that company need to keep in mind, that you can decide, that you can write in your report. Risk categorized as the high, medium, low. Information about the each device is vulnerability. You need to create some like Excel or some proper record. There is a PC1, this is the host name, or this is the data I found which is vulnerable, and there is a schedule also you can put that in this time they're using extra network or not. Then PC2, they having some unknown software which is not by provided by company, PC3, and so on. That kind of result with the each device we need to provide. So this is what pen testing process. Now we have the pen testing phase. So according phase also we have three phase. It's not like but three process, okay? But it is what pre-attack phase, attack phase, and post-attack phase. Here also sometimes people attaching like pre-attack phase. That means what? Defining scope. Attack phase, that means you are performing the pen testing task, and post-attack, that means submitting report. But no, here we need to understand technically way. That is a pen testing phase. So you can see pre-attack phase is what? Now understand, you already finished the criteria. That means you discuss with the company that what things you are allowed to scan, what things you are not allowed to scan, that is finished. And you are starting the pen testing. So in the pen testing, you are not directly going to do attack. So that second phase, second process, what is that? Here, performing the pen testing. So in these, we have these three phases. Performing the pen testing, in that we have these three phases. So what is that? Directly you are not able to do attack. You are doing some planning. Not planning for pen testing, but planning for technical tasks. So this pre-attack phase is what? It's all about research. Information gathering as much as possible. There are some reconnaissance. So if you have ethical hacking knowledge, you already aware about that. Otherwise, you can see ethical hacking video also. Passive reconnaissance or active reconnaissance. Briefly, if I explain, then what? Passive, that means that kind of information gathering and reconnaissance, which is not directly contacting or connecting with the target. That means you can use some social media profile and you are getting the detail from friends, from other company, from competitor, from relatives, not directly with target. Active, that means directly with target, you are gathering the information. Then port scanning, which kind of port is open. Service scanning, according port, the service I just discussed in the last video. You can again go through it if you missed that. Then OS scanning, it is a Linux, it is a Windows, or it is a different category, Ubuntu or iOS or what. That version, like it is a Windows, but it is 10, 11 or the older 7. Or in that also update version, which kind of Windows 10 update. That whole thing you can count as a part of OS scanning. And also, sometimes what, not the technical, but sometimes we require social engineering concept. And so we are using the public records. And again, social engineering, I already explained in the last video. You can go through it. Now what's the attack phase? So again, it is part of the second process, performing the pen testing task, but you have the all attack required detail, and now you are supposed to do attack. So obviously testing and exploitation. It's not like illegally we are hacking something, but it's what? Try to pretend as a hacker. We are checking our system security, and so we are try to testing and exploitation, that is the system is hackable. If yes, we'll change that security setting, and if no, very good, it's your suggestion that your company is secure. So the attack strategy is developed and execute. So whatever information gathering you find in the first phase means pre-attack phase. According to that, you can use the strategy. So again, we discussed the strategies and method of pen testing in the previous video. Again, you can go through that. Target compromise. That means hacker is not directly attacking on the server or the admin PC. Mostly hacker is using weak point. They first find which machine from your network having the less security. So they try to access that, and from that machine, they try to access high level machine, or they try to do the privilege escalation. Privilege escalation, that means what? That you are getting the regular user access. From that, you try to get access pseudo users, or let's say admin users, or let's say root users. Then finding the security loopholes. Again, it's like finding vulnerability or finding bugs. Gain the access for the system. And perimeter testing, that means security device testing. So these all are part of attack phase. You need to check all these things. Is there any vulnerability? Is there any loopholes? Is the device is secure or not? Is the security device running proper policy or not? Is the system is able to access or not? If anything possible, according hacker, that means what? You need to implement your security more better way. And if according hacker, when you try to pretending as a hacker and no one thing able to access, that means it is secure for now. It's not like permanent secure. Pen testing also we need to do sequentially schedule wise testing. So you can see this kind of different techniques or activity we need to do in the attack phase. Perimeter testing, web application testing, wireless testing, application security assessment, network assessment, wireless, remote or security assessment, database, file integrity, log management, telephony, data leakage, or social. These all are the list. This all point with the practical we are going to discuss, but step by step. First, we are focusing on the requirement pre-attacking phase, how we can gather the information, what we need to find. Then this whole attack phase we'll discuss in this series. So it will take some time, but step by step we'll cover all the points. Then post attack phase. So again, it is people think like a reporting and that. So no doubt it is like that, but before that you need to clear your attacks. So it is what? Before submitting report, but after attack. That is post attack. So you need to create here some documentation. Remember, I'm not asking as a submit. You are not going to submit report here. Obviously, first you find the vulnerability and you find that system is able to hack in the attack phase. So here you create the document. Okay, this is the IP, this is the Excel or the device list, the network list like that. Then you submit. So it is what? You are generating the report and you are removing all attacks. So you can just see the list, cleaning up the testing process, removing all the vulnerability which you created. You don't need to remove which is already exist. Keep in mind, you are removing all that vulnerability which you create for the testing as a hacker. But you don't need to remove which is already available that you need to submit in the report that I find this old vulnerability. Exploit crafted. You need to craft your exploit. That what technique you are using in the exploit, what tools you are using in the exploit. Exploit, that means what? The process to get access. Then you can see reversing all the files and setting manipulation performed during the test. Whatever files you are changing, setting you are changing, whatever file you added or removed, that all thing you need to set up as it is previously before the attack. Reversing all changes, privilege, and the user setting, that also you need to do. Let's say sometime you try to check the privileges case and you get the level 1 user access. And from that, you are able to get the high level access, or let's say pseudo user access. So you're changing that password just for checking that hacker can able to change the authority. And if done, that means again it is vulnerable. So before submitting report, you need to keep all that as it is as a original password. Mapping of the network states, network design, then documenting and capturing all the logs registered during the test. These all things you need to prepare, generate, and then that third process like what? Delivering and submitting reports. So these three phases what? Second process, performing the pen testing task. In we have pre-attack, attack, and post-attack phase. Then you can see here, when should penetration testing to be performed? So mostly this is major point, okay, which I mentioned 4 point here. Otherwise, it is very according the different MNC company, different security policy, but measure these four. What is first? Changes have been made in the organization infrastructure. Let's say some device change, topology change, anything. A new threat to the organization infrastructure has been discovered. Some new threat, that means there's some updation happen, some new device comes, hardware or software has been updated or reinstalled. Let's say there are some hardware, old router gone and new router version comes, or let's say old firewall gone and next generation firewall comes, or let's say there are some driver issues, so we reinstall the driver or we update the driver, and then the organization policy has been changed. So this is the major point and effect when a pen tester need to perform their pen testing. Okay, so there are no any fixed good time to start. You can start any time, but yeah, if it is the first discussion or conversation with your company, then obviously first you need to define your scope and then you need to perform the pen testing as a freelancer. But if you, let's say, already part of the company, then this point is for you, that any changes with this 4 point, do the pen testing again. And now some ethics. So while you're doing the pen testing, or let's say if you are already become a pen tester, then this point is you need to keep in mind compulsory. Okay, perform a penetration testing within the express written permission. It's not like that there is your one client, or let's say you are part of company, and since 1 or 2 years you are working together, now it's become friendly, so they calling you, okay, hey guys, just come one more time, there is some issue, can you do my pen testing? No. Friends is friends, okay, no doubt. Family is family, no worry. But being a pen tester, you need to follow the written permissions. Either it is an email or government document with the stamp pad or whatever the written policy in the letter pad, but written permission. No WhatsApp or no just calling or video calling, whatever. Work according to the non-disclosure and liability clauses of the contract. Non-disclosure, that means what? Whatever you are testing there, you don't need to disclose to the someone else. It is what? Whatever the liability in whatever the contract you sign, according that you need to follow. Test tools in an isolated laboratory. So also keep in mind, if it is MNC company, so they having the two different working process with the server. One server which is live and one server which is the same configuration available, but it is not in the live, it is just in the local where you can test. It is also known like what? Production environment and testing environment. And both are mostly same. First, it will check in the testing environment. If it is working fine, it will automatically update in the running environment, production environment. But you no need to directly perform pen testing in the running production environment. Always do in the backup or isolated. Inform the client about any possible risk that might emanate from the test. So sometimes what happens during the pen testing, you find, okay, there are some critical vulnerability available, but I'm not able to find directly. I want to perform some task, and that task have some risk, maybe file delete or maybe file change maybe password change, anything, and there are maybe some risk. So you need to inform first to that client. If they agree, again you will ask for the written permission and then do that task. Otherwise, you can keep as it is. Just inform again that there are some risk possible and you deny. So I'm not performing that task. Notify the client at the first discovery of the highly vulnerable flaws. If you find any kind of highly critical vulnerability on the spot, try to inform with the primary contact. It is maybe network admin, it is maybe the directly boss, it is maybe team leader, whatever. You will find that all contact in your scope, defining the scope. There you get which people you need to do report, which is your primary contact. So on the spot, inform there. Deliver social engineering test result only in a summarized and statistical format. It's not like we need to write a paragraph long like a essay. We need to submit a report with the summarized way. Obviously, if we write deeper technical concept, the other people or let's say company boss not able to understand everything. If actually they have all technical idea, they will not hire us. They will provide training to the company employee and they will going on. If they hiring some separate certified or let's say skill based experience with pen tester, that means what? They have some lack of knowledge. So we don't need to explain all technical stuff to them. We just need to write summarize report which able to explain them that this kind of report, this kind of vulnerability, this kind of risk, and that's it, my stuff like that. Try to maintain degree of separation between the criminal hacker and the security professional. Also, this is important, very much important. There are lots of pen testers who are working legally, but by mistakenly something happened with their task and they need to go to jail. So always keep in mind some borderline between a criminal hacker and security professional. You don't need to become unintentional hacker while during doing the pen testing. Sometime happen that pen tester you are try to check some security and by mistake something deleted or something attack happen. So keep in mind there is a thin line difference between a criminal hacker or the security professional. So these all are the ethics of pen tester. And now from the next topic, we are going to start the practical. So first topic, again repeating, it is a OSINT, most important topic, which is also known as a open source intelligence, short form OSINT. And later, we'll start the network pen testing. That's all for this video. Thanks for listening and stay connecting with me.